Henry Ford has a quote. He says, "Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right." What he's saying in this quote is that success is in your mind. Guess what? When you think you can actually achieve something, you act in accordance with that belief. You take action and you actually progress towards something. But when you truly think you cannot do something, you also act in accordance with that, becoming passive and inactive. Because after all, what's the point of doing anything when you know you're not going to achieve it? I see this issue a lot where people want to do something really, really badly, but they convince themselves that it's never going to happen for them. Whether that may be based on odds or difficulty, or they just don't feel like doing it, so they convince themselves not to. Whatever it is, but they're destroying their dreams in the process. This is really sad to me because we have a generation trained to habitually destroy their dreams, their passions, and their desires for a system meant to keep people weak, vulnerable, and controllable. We can't have people pursuing more, because how do we control that? You can't. But that's a whole nother video. What I'm trying to say is that you have these dreams and these desires for a reason, and it doesn't serve you at all to destroy these, even if you think you're being realistic. Because in reality, you know these things are possible. You know it. You just view it as an odds game. You think, oh, maybe I'm not lucky enough to be one of those people to achieve that. But the truth is, the only reason why it's an odds game is because people see that not many people achieve it. They think that it will be impossible for them. They think that they're not one in a million, because that's what they think it takes. They think they're not lucky enough, so they quit on the spot, and they become one of those odds. They become a statistic. You ever hear people say, "I'm going to succeed," or "I'm going to die trying"? I'd rather die a failure pursuing something that I was passionate about than to surrender to the odds and live a life of hopelessness. Because that's where it leads. I think this is partially why we have such a depressed generation, especially for men. Because the pursuit is what we live for. When there is no pursuit, or rather a forced pursuit for something we do not desire, it destroys us. It destroys us as men. What kind of life is that? Think about the type of life that you would live if you did not quit, if you did not view success, the things that you want to achieve, as an odds game, if you just took action according to the knowledge that you know it's possible, that you know if you do not give up, that you keep taking action, you keep taking shots, that at some point, one of those shots are going to work out. At some point, you're going to achieve it, or at least you will die trying. But at least you will die in a pursuit of something that you loved, something that you were passionate about, something that you wanted to achieve, instead of becoming just another number, another person who is a walking graveyard of dreams. Contrast that life that you would live if you never quit to a life if you do, a life starved of meaningful pursuit. How much more difficult would that life be? In my opinion, infinitely more difficult. Infinitely more difficult than taking risks, than working hard, than being disciplined, than not listening to people telling you that you can't. I think a hopeless life, an aimless life, a life starved of meaningful pursuit is infinitely more difficult than that. So start believing that you can do it, because truth is you can. You honestly can. If it's possible, if someone has done it, you can do it too. That's all you need, is the knowledge that it's possible. Take that and run with it, all right? Because after all, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.